What do you make of a Tank?
Lamont Roach. I'm Lamont Roach. We've been cool since we was in the amateurs. So Lamont, I always knew Lamont was, he wasn't coming to lay down. I've been knowing Lamont since we was kids, so we came up in amateurs together. So I knew Lamont was serious. He was coming in there to fight.
Obviously, just to secure the win is doing just enough to get a draw. So I have to push harder. I have to train harder. I have to be more mean. I have to be more physical.
Devin Haney visits Lamont Roach's training camp ahead of the Gervonta Davis rematch. Haney says he sparred with Lamont before and knows him well. He's cool with him and supports his preparation. Haney's presence shows mutual respect as Roach gears up for one of the biggest fights of his career.
Unfinished business.
What do you make of the Tank versus Roach fight? Do you think it's a fight that Tank should have at this point of his career?
No comment.
What do you make of a Tank?
Lamont Roach. I'm Lamont Roach. We've been cool since we was in the amateurs. So I'm happy that he got the opportunity.
Devin Haney observed Lamont Roach's performance against Gervonta Davis with unwavering confidence, having shared the amateur ranks and trained alongside him. Haney knew Roach's capabilities intimately when Roach landed a decisive shot that forced Davis to take a knee in the 9th round. Haney was convinced he saw a legitimate knockdown, yet referee Steve Willis refrained from scoring it as such, allowing Davis to rise, continue, and ultimately walk away with a majority draw. Haney later expressed his frustration, telling Ring magazine, "I thought he won the fight."
And finally, I wanted to get your thoughts on the Gervonta Tank Davis situation. What was your assessment on his fight against Lamont Roach, and what are your thoughts on the knockdown that wasn't called in round 9?
Yeah, I thought it was a good fight overall. Lamont, I always knew Lamont was, he wasn't coming to lay down. I've been knowing Lamont since we was kids, so we came up in amateurs together. So I knew Lamont was serious. He was coming in there to fight. But he did a lot better than I thought he would, and I thought he won the fight personally. Yeah, the no knockdown, that was like unheard of. It was the first time I've ever seen it with my own 2 eyes, and yeah.
Yeah, you were you've made some comments. I wanted to see the backflip, and I'm surprised Tank didn't say nothing back to you about that.
Hey, I was just speaking my opinion on it.
Behind the scenes, Devin Haney and Gervonta Davis have engaged in spirited sparring sessions, moments that surfaced once Floyd Mayweather Jr. released footage of their training in action. The video, widely circulated in boxing circles, clearly shows Davis landing clean shots on Haney.
Did you ever see him spar any of them?
Yeah.
What happened? Who he sparred?
Y'all know what happened, man.
I don't know.
He sparred Devin. It's packed, it's hot. They get in there. Tank hit that nigga. He hit him, boom. Then he hit him again, and he went out. I jumped in the ring. Because at the time, Devin is 17. It calmed down, and they got back to working, Tank got a little bit more fatigue, and once they kept going, Devin got the best of him.
Oh, okay.
But in a real fight time with 8-ounce gloves on, bye.
With characteristic candor, Haney addressed the boxing community, saying, "Everyone has their own stories about my sparring." He recognized that each fighter frames their training anecdotes to fit their own narrative. Haynes might emphasize his defensive wizardry, while Davis might spotlight his power.
It was so long ago that it doesn't even matter now, because we're grown men and we could settle it in the ring.
All right, yeah.
It's where it really counts, because it's so many stories, so many different point of views. But I told my story, and now I'd rather just get it in under the lights.
I love that.
Our first fight, me and Ryan's first fight, we was I want to say 10 years old. So we've been fighting since we was young kids.
So did you ever build a friendship, or was it just always
nah.
The rapport between Haney and Roach extends beyond the ringside when Haney took legal action against the use of performance-enhancing drugs and publicly criticized Ryan Garcia as a cheater. Roach quickly aligned himself with Haney's stand, "Ryan is a cheater." Roach echoed, lending vocal support to Haney's stance. Their alliance demonstrates solidarity not only in competition, but also in principle. It's a powerful statement, two elite boxers standing by each other in matters of integrity, sending a message about preserving the sport's fairness. Their unity reinforces mutual respect and shared goals.
I'm not too into the political side of whatever they got going on. I think Brian's a cheater. I speak out against that. That's dirty. I don't care about nothing else that's dirty in our sport. Our lives are at stake. Whatever actions he's taking up against him outside the ring, I don't got nothing to deal with. I don't got nothing to think about or talk about on his stance. That's his decision or whatever the case may be.
Footage from Lamont Roach's current training camp captures a fighter delivering peak performance without compromise. In last week's video from his Brooklyn camp, Roach is seen moving with tight footwork, crisp defense, and sharp jabs. Every round of sparring is treated like a career-defining moment. There's no room for complacency. Instead, he cultivates discipline and resilience. For Roach, every jab, counter, and combination is an opportunity to avenge the controversial draw, to prove critics wrong, and to cement his status as a legitimate contender in this rematch. Yes,
sir. Come on, quick. Drop those hips. Nice. Come on. Give me that explosion. Rip. Good. There it is. There it is. Come on. 10 seconds. Breathe. Come on. Come on. Time. Yes, sir.
Roach has taken an introspective approach in this camp, focusing on maximizing each punch's impact. Technical breakdowns show him not just throwing more volume, but training with intentional aggression. He's working on punch placement, timing, and output intensity. It's as if he listened to the critique that he did enough, but lacked finishing power. Now Roach appears determined to eliminate doubts. He's training harder, smarter, and with greater emphasis on making his work count when it matters most.
I have to come with it all. I have to do more. Obviously, just to secure the win is doing just enough to get a draw. So I have to push harder. I have to train harder. I have to be more mean. I have to be more physical. I have to do a lot. I have to do everything just a little more. And I think that will definitely put me over the hump. And I'm more than motivated to get back in there, get back in the camp, and work hard so I could secure a victory over a pound-for-pound fighter, in which I believe that I am myself.
Roach's pedigree traces back to a decorated amateur career marked by national titles and fierce competition. At just 16, he squared off with Gervonta Davis, gaining a rare glimpse into elite-level boxing that few young amateurs experience. That early exposure helped him build a foundation of composure and respect for the craft. Since turning pro, he's leveraged that shaping experience, developing a tightly wound blend of technique, ring IQ, and resolve. With every passing fight, it's clear Roach's amateur roots did more than teach fundamentals. They instilled a belief that he belongs at the top.
Roach is a hell of a contender, man. Roach had a very impressive amateur record, man. Boasting 125 wins and 15 losses. 2 of those losses coming by Tank, man. Also, when him and Tank fought, Roach was 15 and Tank was 16 at the time. 3 years later, 2013, Roach actually won his National Golden Glove Championship. And he was also USA Boxing Youth National Champ as well.
Hey, yo, we're going to be checking for any suspicious opponents on Lamont Roach record. He's 25-1 with 10 big wins coming by the way of knockout, my people. He's in the super featherweight division. He's ranked number 14 in the world and number 3 in the USA, my people. He has a WBA title right now in the super featherweight division. He's fighting Gervonta Davis in December, but you know we got to check how he even got there and how he started his career. His pro debut, he went against Victor. He was 1-3. That's fine. It's your pro debut. First fight as a professional. You feel me? I ain't gonna get at you. Next person was 1-6. Alright, I mean, we ain't do better, but it's your second fight. Like, fourth person was 0-1. That was a little sussy because he ended up 0-10. He never won a day in his life. So he never got his hand raised in a boxing match. You feel me? And then the next person, he stepped it up, though. He went to undefeated. It's only 2 fights, but he was 2-0. Then 12-9, that's a journey, man. I'm not going to lie. 4-2 3 and 4, these are looking good. 8 and 5, that's a journeyman in the making. He got to win a race.
Tio Lopez has raised doubts about Gervonta Davis's reputation, particularly the value of his knockout wins. He argues that Davis has mostly fought boxers who weren't truly tested or experienced, implying that Davis's record might look more impressive than it actually is. From Lopez's viewpoint, the true measure of greatness comes from facing elite-level competition, and he believes Davis has yet to take on someone who can really challenge him. This criticism adds more fuel to ongoing discussions about Davis's career path and whether he's truly earned his spot among the best.
Like I said, in boxing, at the end of the day, Lamont Roach is a world champion at the end of the day. Like I said, the whole thing about Lamont Roach is that he can fight, and you can't overlook anybody, especially not at the top level. Everybody knows how to fight, and Tank and Lamont Roach have been acquainted with each other since they were young fighters. And, just coming up in the game and knowing each other, the comfortability, that's still something that can threaten one another. But I feel like Tank will come out on top at the end of the day. But Lamont might give people, a tougher fight than he might.
Speaking on that, though, like you fought guys early in your amateur career, right? And then you fight them now. Do you already know what to expect, or is there somewhat of an evolution?
No, it's definitely an evolution. It's definitely change in people, but a lot of times, probably half the time, people's mentality stay the same, and their personalities don't always change. So you might be more comfortable with somebody, just growing up with them and knowing where they come from and knowing their background and stuff, versus just not knowing the fighter at all.
Who wins that fight, Lane?
Tank. I got Tank.
How?
I don't know. I feel like Tank might break you down, work his way to a knockout, because Tank is great at break the fighters down, just punches his way into it, boxes his way into it.